Hi everybody, my name is Frank Kennedy and welcome. Welcome to my world, or more specifically maybe my universe, the place where I'm spending most of my time these days. It's called the Collectorate. It's the universe right next door to this one. It's not kind of like going down to the 7-Eleven or Starbucks or over to the nearby Walmart. It's a little bit longer trek, but there are these little doors, you see. I want to explain to you today in the first of a series of videos about this universe, my thought process in creating it, and hopefully along the way perhaps interest you in taking a look at the works that I have produced in this universe. So far there have been several books with many more to come over the next few years, so I'm looking to build quite an expansive library in a place that has nothing to do with our current Earth. So as I was developing what I wanted to have as a big science fiction epic, I kind of thought of a course of history that took some very interesting turns in our own. I'm really fascinated by the idea of what if history went in this direction or that direction. And the only way I could make this particular one work was to go outside of this particular universe. And I thought of the notion of what if you had a cast of people calling themselves the Chancellors who kind of took control of humanity in a very early stage. They were more technologically advanced, and they basically they put the foot down on everyone who had competing ideologies. And one of those ideologies involved religion. And so the Chancellors over a period of time led a series of great crusades that eliminated all religion, or what they called the worship of the divine. And militarily, again, they kept their foot on people and were the dominant caste. And so if you were fortunate enough to have that genetic ancestry, life's great. If not, well, hopefully the Chancellors will just leave you alone. Over many centuries, eventually humanity became spacefaring and then went out to the stars. And after the discovery of 39 worlds in systems spanning up to about 900 million light years and a method of travel between those worlds, a massive world wormhole network called the Fulcrum, the Chancellors engaged in a new way of thinking about the human race, specifically one which involved everyone not being a Chancellor leaving Earth. And so over a period of centuries, they forcibly migrated virtually everyone not of the Chancellor case from Earth to these other 39 worlds, and gave each ethnicity its own world, and said, okay, this is yours, do with it as you will, do what you want to do, that's great, but here's a little catch. What we're going to do is we're going to protect you. We're going to use our military, which you're never going to challenge, and we're going to keep you secure. If there are any problems, any conflicts among yourselves, don't worry, we'll come down, we'll resolve those. Oh, and here's another thing. You can build as much wealth as you want, but we're going to get a cut of everything, particularly all of your mineral wealth. This is going to be our deal. And so over a period of centuries, this control was put into place and was marshaled by a massive fleet of ark carriers, 2 to 3 mile long city ships orbiting these 39 worlds. And so that is really the foundation of what we call the Collectorate. Most people on these colony worlds referred to in a derogatory way as indigos, Most of them either worship the chancellors because over time they became this almost kind of mythical kind of creatures, these humans that were living like gods above the planet. And then there were others who had serious concerns, and some who finally saw through the veil of what the chancellors actually were. And that then led to my opening book dealing with the chancellery, and that is The Father Unbound. And in this book, I basically came up with a generational story. It takes place over 50 years, and I had an idea of what if there was a boy who was maybe one of very few people on the entire planet who saw through the veil, who saw through the God worship of these chancellors and wanted to do something about it. What kind of odds could there possibly be for any success for him to have against an empire 3,000 years old? And that again leads into the premise of The Father Unbound. Now, in the beginning of The Father Unbound, I decided to include a little family prophecy. And it goes like this. And from the three-winged beast is delivered the gifts of expeditious annihilation and the undiscovered path toward renewal. The fallen know only the window through which they see, but the lasting blood is drawn from fire embraced in 12 eyes. They are the five encased for the one, appearing through the arrogant rift of the soul in geometry unpredicted. From this gift is found final truth, the path reborn. Now, if I'm going to open up a book like that, somehow that prophecy's got to mean something, and it does. It means something for this book and also for the series of books that will follow it, because it does lay the groundwork for a lot of things that are to come. Okay, so next time we're going to go a little bit more in depth about the Collectorate. I'm going to give you some interesting tidbits in history, and as we continue this journey together, we'll take a look at some of the 40 worlds that make up the Collectorate, and I'll also give you a little bit more insight into The Father Unbound. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Until then, bye-bye, everyone.